Oh, we locked in. I got the camera set up. First YouTube with the cam easy. Yo, it's crazy. But welcome to the YouTube video. As you can see, I got a camera now. I feel different. People can see my face. That almost was a crazy shot. And the vibes are good. Never in my life would I have thought that I would be putting my face up on YouTube. And here we are. Something I've been wanting to do for like years, bro. Years. Actual years. Since I was like 13, 12. Watching like, man, and I'm gonna name some like ancient names like Grizz, Hutch, uh who else was like a pioneer to like, well, for me at least, in like YouTube. Critical, obviously PewDiePie. Those are all people that inspire me. YouTubers that inspire me to really want to pursue this, or at least attempt to pursue it. And I'm not really getting the views that I'd like to be getting yet, but you know, good things take time, and I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm having fun with what I'm doing, and as long as there's one person listening and watching this, then you know that's enough to fulfill me. But ultimately, I want to keep posting things that um, could help other people, and you know, give them hopefully some inspiration or motivation to post on social media, because YouTube is a form of social media. But today's topic is going to be a little bit different. That was gross. We're going to watch that. Today's topic is going to be a little different. I hope people could see me fairly clearly. I might need to adjust the camera just because I'm not too technically savvy, but we'll figure it out if it doesn't look too good. But today's topic is going to be relationships, bro. And when it comes to relationships, I am no relationship guru. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to relationships. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I am the perfect partner, that I give the perfect advice, that I'm a perfect man, individual. As you can clearly see from my past videos, I am far from that. I am simply just voicing some opinions when it comes to some trends I've seen in regards to relationships in the year 2026, which is very weird to say. I've been saying 2025 a lot. I said it a few times in my last video, and then when I was watching the recording back, I was like, why do I keep saying 2025? Anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that. But yeah, relationships, bro. Relationships are, for me, just insanely complex. For me. And what I mean by that is that it just seems like everyone seems to overcomplicate things. Let me not say everyone. My generation seems to overcomplicate things when it comes to relationships, and it goes far beyond just overcomplicating things. Like my generation and the younger generations, but I'm not that young anymore. I'm about 27. I'm pushing 30, bro. You might as well call me Unk. Um, but yeah, relationships are overcomplicated in my generation, and what I mean by that primarily is everybody. I gotta stop generalizing, but from what I've seen and what I've seen on social media, is everyone. There's a couple of trends that I've noticed. Most people feel like the grass is greener on the other side. And what I mean by that is people get into relationships and they run into hiccups, whether it be arguments, whether it be disagreements, whether it be goals, whether it be obstacles in their lives that they overcome or are going through rather. People don't seem to want to try to fix things. And losing my train of thought here. When I say when people think the grass is greener on the other side, they always think that there's a better option out there. Like people always feel like they can do better. Like, and I'm a victim of this too. Like, I'm not perfect, so I'm out there, or we're out there as humans, right? We're looking for the perfect candidate, right? She has to meet my exact preferences. She has to be this height. She has to be this educated. She has to make this much money, and she has to look like this, and blah blah blah. And there's just so many preferences that it just ultimately leaves. I feel like you'll never be satisfied with your partner. And I wish I did live in the times where people were okay with imperfections, and that's not the case in dating anymore. There's always a flaw that you're gonna find with somebody that you're not gonna like, and you need to be willing to make the sacrifice and fight for that person if the person is worth it. And tying this back to thinking the grass is greener on the other side is that, like I said, people always think that there's a better option out there, and that's not always the case. You might have a great partner right now, and if somebody comes by and you think that they're a better person, that they align better for you, and that they're better for you in the future, and all that, and it ultimately leads to unfulfillment and unsatisfaction in your relationships because you're constantly looking for the better option. And I'm not saying everybody does this. There's obviously people that are content in their relationships, and they're happy with the person that they're with, and they accept the person for their flaws, and they're working towards becoming a better person, whether it could be anything. Like maybe they're overweight, or maybe they're very skinny, or I don't know, whatever the case may be, something that you may not like about them, and you've learned to, like, you accepted the heck am I saying? You accepted that person for who they are at the beginning, at their core, like when you first met them. Those are all things that you should want to work towards to make that person better while you're with them. We seem to give up as soon as we find something that we don't like about them, and we move on to the next person. Like humans lose their, like, we're making each other lose our value by doing that. It's like these dating apps are doing that, like Tinder and Hinge and all these other dating apps are destroying the dating world because it's just a swipe. So it's kind of dehumanizing going and trying to find and dating somebody on the dating apps, because you're swiping, you're swiping, you're swiping until you find the perfect person, and the perfect person doesn't exist. Whoever you date, whoever you marry, they're gonna have flaws. Now, I'm not saying it's not okay to have preferences. It's perfectly fine to have preferences. Everybody has preferences. I have preferences. For example, like I tend to lean more towards Hispanic women. That's my preference. But I understand that people aren't perfect. There's going to be some things about my girlfriend or my spouse that I'm not going to particularly like, and I have to be willing to make that sacrifice. And we can get better together, just like how she's going to find certain things about me that she's not gonna like. And I feel like this sounds like basic or common sense rather, but it doesn't seem that way, because when I'm on social media, which, if it wasn't for me wanting to be a coach, like a life coach, or just keep up with my family and friends, and I would be off socials, because socials is the most toxic thing on planet Earth. And a couple of my friends, most of my friends actually, don't even have social media. And it's because of that reason. It's just way too toxic. And in terms of social media, it's also another reason as to why people do the whole comparison thing. We go on social media and we look at these other people while being in a relationship, and we're saying, oh, Why can't my boyfriend do this? Why can't my girlfriend do that? You know, and it's just not healthy because at the end of the day, like I said previously, everybody has their flaws. What may seem perfect online isn't exactly the truth. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I've seen this particularly on both sides. There's not one gender that does this more than the other. Men do it, women do it, and it's ultimately destroying the dating scene in 2026 and beyond in this generation because it's just it's creating false expectations and it's you know just not healthy overall to expect your partner to not have any flaws. But those are just a couple things that I've noticed, and this is just off the top of the dome too. Like normally, I come in here with notes, trying to talk about certain topics, but this is just straight off the top because this is something that I'm a little bit more passionate about because I'm single right now, bro. And I was in a previous relationship with my partner that I'm no longer with, and I'll be the first to say I was not perfect in that relationship. There was a lot of things I should have done better. She was great, but it ultimately came down to we were just arguing a lot, and I just wasn't happy in the relationship. And you know, maybe I should have made the sacrifice because she was a great partner in the end. But that's a little bit personal. And I also, me myself, I succumbed to that, thinking that there's somebody out there better for me, and that's not always the case. Maybe there isn't someone. Maybe the person you're with right now is the person for you, and they don't do everything that you want them to do for you, but they're still a good partner. They still care about you. And yo, I'm not gonna lie, I am locked in. I'm bugging. I'm literally in flow state right now. But yeah, it's just I also gave into that. Maybe I'm better off with someone else, or maybe somebody else will make me happier. Maybe I'm more compatible with somebody else, and that may be the truth. But if you keep on with that mentality, you'll never be fulfilled or satisfied with your partner. And it makes me sad because in my parents' generation, or the older generations rather, it just seems like they were more willing to accept the person for who they were and just learn to grow with them. Now, the one thing I will say is if the person is, hold on, oh my god, that's my opportunity. I'm bugging. I will say that if the person is too toxic and is just not a good person, then of course it's okay to leave the relationship. In that instance, I'm not going to shame you for finding someone that's a better fit, or if you have better chemistry with somebody else, or like I said, if it just comes down to simple treatment, if you don't like the way you're being treated, of course it's okay to leave. I'm saying instances in cases where the person has the potential to be a good spouse, because at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone to marry, and there needs to be potential there. But man, my generation is fried, bro. It's looking like I'm gonna be single for a minute. I'm nasty. It's looking like I'm gonna be single for a hot while, bro. And it's kind of hard to accept that because, and I keep bringing up my age, but I do want a family. Like ultimately, that's all. That's what we want. Like I'm the only. Like I have an older sister, and I'm the only that was kind of tough. I'm the only guy, and I don't want to say I'm the only guy in our family because that's not true. I would say I'm the only boy in my immediate family. So I'm sure my mom would want some sort of little Kenny running around, going crazy, and yeah, it would be nice to bring a child into this world now. You know, that's a scary thing because the world is in shambles right now. But hasn't the world always been in shambles, bro? And I'm kind of going off topic, but yeah, back to relationships. It's just difficult. I think we just need to learn to try to mitigate how often we compare our relationships to others and learn to be a little bit more compassionate and patient when it comes to imperfections. This is a nice carry. Be a little bit more patient when it comes to imperfections and things like that because I've fallen victim to thinking that I could find another partner or a better candidate, and that's just simply not the case. But yeah, man, get off of Hinge, get off of Tinder, meet somebody in person. Find out who they are. Find out who they are. Find out what they like. And things like that. And, you know, that swiping stuff is too toxic. Like I said, it dehumanizes us. And, yeah. Everyone has the potential and, more importantly, is deserving of love. We need to get back to the basics of it. Like, why don't we just love people? Like, why is it so difficult for other people to be vulnerable? Part of loving someone is being vulnerable, and people don't understand that to love somebody, once again, you have to leave yourself open to be hurt. And life is suffering. With existence comes suffering. And people need to be willing to accept that. And something else I wanted to talk about was all these like terms and this is where the overcomplication of thing comes in. Like, for example, let's say I'm talking to somebody, or actually, let me not start off with that. Let me start off with the absurd amount of terms that there are in modern dating, right? There's a term that I recently learned that has been a thing for a long time, apparently, and I didn't even know this was a thing. Love bombing. I didn't know that was a thing until I started watching Love Island, bro. Yes, I watched Love Island. It's actually pretty good. And love bombing, yeah, I had no idea that was a term. And love bombing is being overly affectionate extremely early in the relationship. And by overly affectionate, it could be a demonstration of gifts, like buying too many gifts for the person and trying to win them over like that. Maybe using words like "I love you" and you barely even know the person, and it's kind of just manipulation. It's essentially manipulation to try to to win the person over. And I had no idea that was a thing. No clue. Now, I'm not trying to discredit or take the validity away from people that have experienced love bombing, but I just kind of thought it was like a little bit of a ridiculous term, in the sense that like so many people just jump to using that term instead of maybe the person actually likes you. As long as they're not saying that they love you within the first month, or I guess too early, or giving you too much gifts and all that, I don't think there's anything wrong with the person showing affection or doing something within the threshold of just showing that they have genuine interest. This might just be me, but you know that's just how I operate. I tend to show love and care fairly early. I'm not saying I love you a month in or 2 months in or 3 months in or whatever the case may be. And speaking of 3 months, another term, the 3 month rule. Someone needs to explain this to me. What is the 3 month rule, bro? Like I know what it is. It's just like, what is all this? Why is dating just overly complicated? Why can't we just like? Why isn't it just I like you, you like me. I'm gonna text you when I want. It's another thing. I'm not gonna wait 20 minutes or 10 minutes to text you on purpose just so I can show you that I'm less interested. Like, what kind of mind games are we playing? Like, what is this? We're two grown people trying to express that we're interested in each other. If I like you and I'm interested, I'm gonna text you as soon as I'm available. Like, what are these mind games that we need to play in order to show that we like somebody? Like, that makes no sense to me. It's never made sense to me. The 3 month rule, slow burn relationships, and maybe there's people out there that, you know, that's how they operate, you know, and you gotta accept that. But it's just confusing to me because these are all things that are fairly new to me. And again, I'm not trying to invalidate the people that do that. I just think for me personally, it's just not my thing to date within the confines of all these rules, all these unwritten rules. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's why I think dating is way too complicated, but it's obviously more than that. I just think love is such a simple emotion and it's such an easy thing to do. Like, it's in our nature to. Oh, it could have been gross. Loving someone is innate. It's in our nature. It's something that comes very easy to us, and we overly complicate it. And I guess that's the end of my rant. Just love people, man. Just be okay with being vulnerable, and it's okay to suffer. Like, it's, well, let me rephrase that. I don't want you to suffer. Obviously, I don't want anybody to suffer. But with love comes the willingness to suffer, because what if the relationship ends in a way that you didn't want it to or didn't expect? I guess we have to learn to accept these things happen. And it's okay, it's a learning experience. Like, I was recently hurt, and I didn't really get over it until honestly recently. Like, now I'm just starting to get over that, but at the end of the day, I kind of appreciate that experience that I went through. And I hope all my failed relationships, hope all of them are doing well. I hope they're thriving. You know, I hope they can say the same for me. Maybe they ate my guts. You know, I hope not. I didn't really do anything to make them feel that way, but, you know, I just wish everybody the best. And I want everybody to be happy. And there's really no need to overcomplicate love. Go out there, go ahead and find yourself a partner. There's definitely someone out there for you. Whether you're 30, 40, or 50, there's someone out there for you, bro. Unless you're me, I'm cooked. Segment. But that's the end of my rant. I probably forgot about a few things, honestly. But I hope I covered everything. I might get into a game or two right here. Let's play a little game, play a little casual. It is 3:30 in the morning. Really about to give somebody this work online. 3:30 in the morning playing Rocket League, bro. Should I get some RGB lights for the back? It's kind of gloomy over here, bro. It's a little gloomy. My game crashed. No. No. Guys, my game crashed. That's funny. Alright, I guess I gotta end the video there. Deuces.